All right, so we're going to talk about assessment now. So, assessment, hugely important part of your school lives. And the way that we're going to do assessments in TY, firstly, I'm going to talk about something that you won't have done before. So, I'm going to talk about your portfolio. So, that's something when you get your timetables in September and you're looking at through all your subjects and all the things that you're going to be doing in transition year, one thing that might stand out to you is you'll have 1 hour a week of portfolio. You might not know what that is at the moment, okay? So portfolio is essentially where you're going to keep track of your transition year, okay? So there's no two portfolios should look the same. Your portfolio shouldn't really look the same as your friend's portfolio or someone else's, because it's about your transition year experience, okay? So that hour a week is put aside for you guys. So obviously there will be things like if we have a guest speaker in, or if you go on a trip, let's say to the National History Museum, you have the opportunity to maybe upload some of the photos that you took at the History Museum, or you maybe write a little blog post about your experience and how much you enjoyed that trip. So that's one key element of the portfolio. But aside from that, I will be assigning you now. Your tutors will be facilitating, so your tutors will be in the class with you during your portfolio class. But what I'll be doing is I'll be assigning you some work to do in those portfolio classes as well, and that will form some of your overall TY assessment. Okay, so one of the things I like to do at the start of the year is we're going to get you to do an essay for us, and that essay is entitled Who I Want to Be. Okay, and it is exactly as it says in the title. It's an opportunity for you to think about who do you want to be in the future. Okay, so you get to take any approach that you wish to structure that essay. Okay, it is 1,500 words. That sounds like an awful lot. It's really not. If you think of 3 or 4 pages in your copy, that's what it is. Okay, so that's called Who I Want to Be, and that gives an opportunity for you to write basically what's your hopes, what's your dreams, what's your aspirations, what kind of person, if you were to meet yourself in 10 years' time, who would you hope that person is? Okay, and that's a really nice opportunity for me as your TY coordinator to have a look and see, I suppose an insight into you as a person, and it kind of helps inform some of the choices that I make throughout the year as well. Then, okay. Another thing that we'll do towards the end of the year is we have another essay for you, and that's called Who I Have Become. So what we'll do is we will look at towards the end of the year, we'll get you to do that essay. Okay, so again, that's called Who I Have Become, and that's your opportunity to reflect on your transition year journey and for you to talk about the person that you have developed into throughout the year. So you might not think that there will be huge changes, but I can assure you, if you look at yourself September 2025 walking into TY, and you look at yourself in May 2026 having finished TY, you will absolutely notice some changes in yourselves. Okay, I promise you that, but you will notice it. And for me, it's a fantastic opportunity to be able to read those essays and just to be able to see the journey that you guys have been on. Okay, so that's the portfolio element, but assessment is part of our school lives. It's part of our everyday school lives. So your assessments generally will be at the discretion of your class teacher. So for example, if you have me for maths, the way I would structure it this year is I have 40% of the TY's assessment this year is based on a project that they might do. So for example, we're doing statistics. So what the students have done this year for me is that they've created a poster on statistics. They've picked one element of statistics. That could be statistics in your day-to-day life. It could be the weather. It could be sports. It could be anything. And they've created an infographic, a poster, and a kind of a slideshow for me. That's taken up 40% of the assessment, and then the other 60% has been a more traditional exam. Okay, that's how I've chosen to do it. However, your other teachers, they want to maybe focus on something different. Okay, the way things have worked for you guys so far is that you have done, aside from your Irish, your English, and your maths, you do those subjects at higher and ordinary level. The rest of your subjects have been done at common level. So what we will aim to do in transition year is that we'll aim to start working towards higher level and ordinary level. Okay, there is a big difference and a big step up from when you get from junior cycle to senior cycle. So transition year for us, again, I've mentioned it before, quite literally a transition, and that transition year gives us the opportunity for you guys to bridge that gap that needs to be bridged. For example, if you're in English at the moment, a 2-page essay might get you a distinction at junior cycle. If you were to submit that same 2-page essay at higher level English at senior cycle, you're not getting your distinction, you're not getting a H1, okay? There's a much more work expected. You're going to need 5 or 6 pages of good quality material. So your teachers are going to take you on that journey in TY, and they're going to give you the skills to show you how to bridge that gap from junior cycle to senior cycle. So the assessments will be quite varied. There will still be things like end of unit assessments. If we finish a chapter in maths, we do a test. You'll still have that in your other subjects, but there are opportunities to do things like continuous assessment, where you might start a project in September and you might finish it in December, and you might get a grade based on the project work that you did in those weeks. There will also be project-based assignments that teachers might set you. It could be 100% project-based, or it could be 50% project-based. It's at the discretion of the teacher, but there will be a bit of a variety in how you're assessed in TY, and it's just part and parcel of trying to get you guys ready for senior cycle as well. It's nothing you can't do. Your teachers will give you the requisite information that you need, and you're a very good group, very academic group, so I have no problem whatsoever with saying that you'll adjust to this very well, and that you'll be very well informed and ready to go when it comes to senior cycle.